Donald Trump is losing his mind after the blue wave, the blue tsunami took over the United States as Democrats won coast to coast in Virginia, in New Jersey, in Pennsylvania, in Georgia, in Minnesota, in New York City, in California, you name the location. Democrats won big. MAGA Republicans got destroyed. So what was Donald Trump doing all last night? The cope was real, folks. Here's what he was posting. And so it begins, he writes. And so it begins. Ooh, very cryptic, Donald. Then Donald Trump posts, Trump wasn't on the ballot, and shutdown were the two reasons that Republicans lost elections tonight, according to pollsters. So your government shutdown that you and MAGA Mike are depriving Americans of their SNAP benefits, 42 million Americans losing SNAP benefits. You're taking away health insurance for over 20 million Americans, gutting Medicaid, but you're going to blame it on others? No, this was a massive repudiation of you, but it was also Democrats with different approaches and different tactics, but talking about affordability and the types of issues that actually matter to the American people, not these MAGA culture wars where they focus on pee-pee and poo-poo and whatever the hell they're talking about to try to divide us, but Democrats talking about the economy and jobs and not just paying people a living wage, but having people be paid a wage with dignity and talking about having people be able to afford homes and talking about the issues that matter and healthcare and the issues that matter to the American people. Then Donald Trump goes, pass voter reform, voter ID, no mail-in ballots, save our Supreme Court from packing, no two-state addition, etc. Terminate the filibuster, exclamation point. So post after post after post. Then Donald Trump goes, Republicans, terminate the filibuster, get back to passing legislation and voter reform, President DJT. Dude, you ordered MAGA Mike to order all the MAGAs in the House of Representatives not to show up to work. The MAGA Republicans have shut down the House of Representatives for the past, 102, 103 days. There have only been 12 days where the House of Representatives has been open because you've ordered MAGA Mike, cover up the Epstein files, shut down the government, shut down the House. So MAGA Republican Congress members are making all of the money that they're getting all of the benefits while they're not even freaking working and covering up the Epstein files for you. What did Hakeem Jeffries call it? The Pedo Protection Program, the PPP, That's what it's about with these MAGA freaking Republicans. Then Donald Trump posts this last night. I kid you not, real post. He goes, just out. The 60 Minutes interview of Donald J. Trump on CBS Sunday night was the highest rated 60 Minutes in years. You're talking about the interview where you were asked by Norah O'Donnell, so why would you pardon this guy, CZ, this crypto billionaire who gave your family basically the equivalent of $2 billion plus in value for your family venture, World Liberty Financial's stablecoin? And Donald Trump was like, you ready? I don't know who that is. I don't know. I didn't even know I pardoned him. I don't know. Okay. That interview, by the way, Adam Kinzinger, who we worked with on The Last Republican, make sure you watch that movie. It's on all streaming platforms. He posted this photo of the guy in the MAGA hat. But Governor Newsom had another take on it, pushing Donald Trump in a stroller like the little freaking baby that Donald Trump is. But let's go over all the big wins for Democrats and for democracy all last night. Taniel puts it, I think, perfectly. Prop 50 wins. Virginia Democrats flipped the governor seat, lieutenant governor seat, attorney general. Even Jay Jones, attorney general, he won by like 7 points. It wasn't even close. Dems flipped at least 13 seats in the Virginia House of Delegates, flipping a lot of red seats blue. Democrats win in New Jersey. Keep the legislator there as well. Dems win New Jersey and Virginia trifectas. Mamdani wins in New York City. Pennsylvania Democrats win the Supreme Court races there and hold control. You have Georgia Democrats flip 2 statewide offices in massive amounts. The first time that's happened recently since like 2006. New York Democrats flip Onondaga and Dutchess County's legislature, the first in decades. J.D. Vance's half-brother lost Cincinnati. The Seattle GOP prosecutor was trailing big. Minnesota Democrats keep the control of the Senate. Democrats flip legislative seats throughout in Missouri. Democrats defend swing legislative seats in New York, Washington. Pennsylvania Democrats win 2 statewide open judge seats. You have Krasner and Bragg win big DA seats. Coloradans fund free school meals. Pennsylvania Democrats flip the Erie County exec and Bucks DA sheriff. Pennsylvania Democrats oust all GOPers from the Bucks school board. I want to talk about that because I know there's a lot of high-profile things getting attention. Dems won big on the school boards. Once ground zero for the conservative takeover in Bucks, Democrats regained control there. Charlotte approved a transit tax. And then let's keep looking at over here. Bucks County, Pennsylvania was ground zero, as Daniel writes, for the conservative takeover of school boards and anti-LGBTQ policies in 2021 with Central Bucks and Penridge districts. Dems flipped both boards back in 2023. Tonight, Dems have ousted all of the Republicans from both school boards, 9-0. Democrats sweep there. Georgia Democrats had not won a statewide race that wasn't for a federal office since 2006. They won 2 races tonight, both against GOP incumbents, and the margins for the Democrat win was huge, like 62% to 38% in both. Actually huge margins in Georgia. More trolling by Governor Newsom of Donald Trump with the AI images of Trump as a freaking baby. Take a look at Virginia, where Governor-elect Spanberger had a huge victory. But in every single county, Governor-elect Spanberger was able to get significantly more of the electorate her way than in 2024. The shift from the 2024 to this race, every single county in Virginia shifted blue. Same thing we saw in New Jersey with mostly all of the counties there shifting blue. You want to talk about demographics? How about we look at young men? Remember the narrative that young men becoming radicalized MAGA? We saw that happening, right? But how about this? In Virginia, New Jersey, and New York City, young men voted Democratic. They see Donald Trump as the fraud. Mamdani, young men, plus 40. Mikey Sherrill, plus 10. Abigail Spanberger, plus 14 right there. And I'm not trying to suggest that, I'm just focusing on young men. I think that it was women, Black Americans, Hispanic Americans, kind of leading the charge as well against the Trump regime. I'm just pointing out this was a demographic group that was viewed as being lost to MAGA, that even if they can recognize they've been defrauded by Donald Trump, I think it's at least worth just pointing that out. But just generally, 18 to 29-year-olds delivered a 35-point margin for Abigail Spanberger. Gen Z hates Donald Trump. All gens hate Donald Trump at this point. He's underwater across every demographic on every single issue, even amongst white people. He's underwater now as well. But again, I'm just looking at the map right here. Like, look at Nelson County, Virginia, which was a Trump +6 district. It's now a +1 Spanberger. How about Mikey Sherrill winning Gloucester County, which Citarelli won by +11 in 2021? I mean, the more you look at these maps, the bigger a wipeout it is than you even thought it was before. But if you were watching state regime media right before the election, you would have gotten a whole different story. Here was Hannity's election eve take on what was going to happen in New Jersey. Here, play this clip.
And in New Jersey, the gubernatorial race remains neck and neck. Right now, it is officially a turnout election. We'll talk to pollsters in a minute. And only moments ago, this is great. A friend of mine in New Jersey was there. And a tiny rally in support of Democrat Mikey Sherrill was apparently trolled with the theme song. First, it was Lee Greenwood, God Bless the USA. Then YMCA. Watch the crowd dancing. It's hilarious.
But when you spoke to the voters, and I give a hat tip to MSNBC right here, here's what they talk about: how some of these voters who are Democrats, who were conned into voting for Trump are now like, whoa, we've got conned. Here, play this clip.
Okay, so that's a voter who sat out 2024, but is coming out now over the issue of immigration. I also spoke to a voter who in the past had voted for Democrats. He voted for Trump in 2024. He's coming out today to vote for Mikey Sherrill. Take a listen to what he told me. His name is Romaldo. You voted for the Democrat, for Mikey Sherrill.
Yes.
Why did you vote for Mikey Sherrill?
I voted for Trump before, but now I look at Trump is different. The economy I don't look good. That's a vote for Democrat.
You said the economy. Also, when we spoke earlier, you mentioned immigration. What is it about his immigration action?
Well, I'm very sad for this because some people okay, but a lot of people working good. The family is the more important in the life.
So these are a lot of the voters I'm going to have my eyes on tonight, Nicole. Voters who are coming out who may be considered low propensity voters, but they are voting uncharacteristically in what is not even an off-year election. And some of these voters who in the past have been Democrats switched to Trump and are now regretting those votes. I think it's going to tell us a lot about whether or not Mikey Sherrill is able to cut into Trump's gains with Latino voters, potentially proving a path forward for Democrats, or if Chitterelli is able to hold on to some of those gains.
Because when you look at the data, folks, like when you look at jobs, right? The jobless claims in the first 3 quarters of this Trump regime, not even the fourth quarter. We're not done with the fourth quarter yet. The first 3 quarters, guess what? 950,000 jobs lost. That's more than any year. And we're just through 3 quarters only, other than the years when COVID was at its worst and the Great Recession. Okay? Trump during COVID and then the Great Recession. Right now, more jobless claims already, 950,000. And that didn't include October, where there was a tsunami, but a bad one, of jobless claims when Amazon and all these companies based on AI fired so many people. And again, you know, MAGA Mike can go out there and do his MAGA Mike lie every morning, but we know the disastrous budget bill took away $200 billion from rural hospitals. And if you claim you gave $50 billion back, that means you still stole $150 billion. Like, we're not dumb. Like, if I stole $1,000 from you and gave you $200 back, I'm not going to brag to the judge that I gave you $200. I would have stolen $800. So the American people are not being fooled by this, Trump Ponzi scheme fraud. And we're not being fooled when you say you brought in $22 trillion and that inflation is gone. Because when we exist in the real world, we know inflation is surging. We know the tariffs against the world have been a complete and utter disaster. We know the impact on healthcare and that premiums can go up $20,000 to $30,000. We're aware. So Trump's approval across the board is at an all-time low. Whether it's the CNN poll, the TIP poll, the Economist, YouGov poll, you name it, he's as unpopular as can be. And while Donald Trump was inflicting all of this suffering, just again, remember what he was doing this weekend. He was giving us all the middle finger, which he does basically every weekend when he goes golfing on our taxpayer dime. But they threw the Great Gatsby party where the slogan was "A little party never killed nobody," a roaring 20s theme party. By the way, do you know what the theme and the message of Great Gatsby is? It wasn't that all this wealth was great. It was that it was corrosive. You know what happened at the end of the roaring 20s? The Great Depression. A little party never killed nobody while you're ripping away SNAP benefits and starving 42 million Americans to death, while you are ripping away healthcare from 20 million Americans, and you're doing a party with half-naked girls like in freaking martini glasses. That's the message of this MAGA Republican, while MAGA Mike goes, "I'm a good Christian, I'm a good Christian." Shut the F up, MAGA Mike and all you MAGA Republicans. We know you hate America. We know you hate Americans. We know you hate this country, and Americans who love this country, who love our Constitution, we stood up together yesterday on election day and brought this blue wave. We said no to this regime of war criminals that's out there shooting fishing boats in the name of the United States and killing human beings. No to this regime of war criminals. No to this regime of criminals. No to this regime of people who hate democracy, these fascists. We stood up together. We sent a powerful message. Love, empathy, truth, facts, democracy. That's what it's all about, folks. Thanks for watching. Let's keep this momentum going and hit subscribe. Let's get to 6 million.
Thanks for watching. Be sure to add the MeidasTouch podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts for new updates every single day.